Hi foodies, it's Terry. All right, so today I'm making a nice comforting soup. It's a Tuscan bean soup. It's very healthy and easy to make. It's great for the weekend. I would serve it with some crusty French bread or a nice pan of cornbread that you just pulled out of the oven. So today we've got all the ingredients, and like I said, it's really not hard. These are easy ingredients that you can find. And I've been trying to think of menu items that kind of stretch and are cost efficient as well, because if you've been to the grocery store lately, you know how crazy stupid prices are right now. So I've been trying to think of recipes that are really good and healthy, and you'll get several servings out of and not be an arm and a leg to eat. All right, so let me put some olive oil in my pan. So I've got my Dutch oven over here warming up, and I'm just going to do a few turns of olive oil in here. My trusted Dutch oven. It's on medium-high heat. All right, while that's warming up, I'm going to saute some onions and some carrots, and this is half of a yellow onion that I've diced, and this is probably about a cup of shredded carrots. Now next we're going to add our ham, and this is diced ham. You can see. Now you don't have to use all this. This is a 12-ounce package. You don't have to use all 12 ounces. I just put it in the bowl for you to see. Really use as much as you'd like. And then we have our cannellini beans, our white beans, kidney beans here. Now we're going to make this soup nice and creamy. I'm going to tell you the secret to that once we get to it. We also have some bay leaves and some tomato paste here. That's about, we're only going to use about 2 tablespoons of it. And then we're going to finish it off with some Ditalini. I hope that's the way you pronounce it. Pasta. It's very small tube shape. And we have some chicken broth, of course. All right, so come on over here. Let's get our vegetables sauteed. Now, I like this, and it's, like I said, so easy to put together, and these ingredients are really easy to find. Oops, carrot jumping. So we're going to put a little salt in here to help break it down. We don't want too much because we're adding cheese, and then we have our beans, and those have some salt in them as well. So we don't want to go too heavy on the salt because it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of sodium in it. Just a little bit. All right, we want these vegetables to sweat. So we're not looking to brown them, we're just looking to sweat. Meaning we want them to start softening up and breaking down. We don't want them to brown. And the onions here are not a fine dice, they're a rough dice, meaning they're not very small pieces. I like texture in this soup, so that's why my onions are not a fine dice, just because I like the texture of it in there. It's almost like a stew in a way, it's pretty thick. All right, so next we're going to add our ham in here. Oh, sorry, tomato paste. All right, so we're going to add some tomato paste in here. And we want to cook that down. I would not use sauce. You want that rich tomato flavor, so make sure you use tomato paste. I usually use the tube of tomato concentrate, so you can find it in the section of the grocery store where your tomatoes are at, your spaghetti sauces and stuff like that, but it's a tube and it's concentrated tomato paste. I like using that. I just happened to run out of it and didn't pick up some more. So I'm using the tomato paste. Still good flavor. So don't worry if you don't have that. Just use paste, don't use sauce or anything like that. So we want to cook that down a little bit and have that start breaking up. And with the heat and the tomato paste, you're going to get a little caramelization and that sweetness is going to come out, which is what we're looking for. All right, now we add our ham. And this is a soup you can have on the table, 30, 45 minutes at the most. The carrots I bought were already shredded. They were some I had in the refrigerator, and I just hate throwing out food, so these are perfect for the soup. You could get whole carrots and just dice them up if you wanted. Just make sure you peel them, or you could shred them. If you shred them, they're gonna be thinner and not give you that full texture. So I would probably stick with this that's shredded because it's a thick shred, or dice the carrots. All right, so there is our ham cooked down with our tomato paste, our onions, and our carrots. Now next we're going to throw some chicken broth in there. And our bay leaf. So I'm going to put 2 bay leaves in there. Let's put it as 3. And I'm going to use pretty much this whole container here. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to bring this to a simmer. All right, now comes the trick for thickening your soup and making it nice and creamy. So instead of adding any kind of fat like cream or milk or anything like that, I'm going to actually use the white beans to thicken the soup up. So 1 can I'm going to drain and pour in here, and then the other can I'm going to take half of it and put it in my little mini food processor there, mini chopper, and we're going to chop those up and then throw them in there. And that is going to help thicken the sauce there, or the soup. All right, so 1 can is going to get drained. And then the other one I'm going to take about half and put it in my food processor. Put this stuff up. And we're just going to incorporate that liquid in there. That's in there. All right, as you can see, we've got a bean puree here, which is what we're looking for. We still want some texture to it, but we don't want whole beans. So this will help thicken. It'll give it the appearance of creaminess when it's really no milk or anything involved with that. All right, so you can see we've got a pretty nice looking soup there. Lots of beans. We've got ham, carrots, and onions in there. All right, next we're going to put our pasta in. Okay. Sorry, too fast for you. All right, so this is our pasta here. We're only going to use about a cup and a half. It's going to cook in the broth there, so it's going to absorb some of that, and it will help thicken it up as well. So you can add more or less depending on what you'd like. Just remember that leftovers, they are going to swell. So if you add too much, you're going to have nothing but a mass of noodles in your soup. So just be careful about that. Don't add too much. And this is great if you have, if you want to make vegetable soup. All right, so that was a cup. We're going to stir that in. And we're going to let this come to a boil and simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to finish it off. So stay tuned and come back in about 10 minutes and we'll see how it's doing.
2, 1.
Welcome back, foodies. All right, so we've let our soup come to a boil, and we've made sure that the pasta is nice and tender. So it boiled for about, I guess, about 5 or 6 minutes. We've simmered it as well. And you can see that it is thicker. We've had some of the liquid boil off, and then the noodles soaked up some of the other liquid. So it is thicker right now. And you can see we've got those beautiful colors right there, the pasta, the ham, and the carrots and onions. Now we're going to finish it off with some cheese. This is pecorino romano. You could use parmesan as well. And again, anytime you use cheese, make sure it is fresh. Don't use the canned stuff. Please don't use the canned stuff. Yeah. It was good when we were kids, but you're not kids anymore. So make sure you buy the good ingredients. Like I said, few ingredients, you want to focus on quality. All right, so we're going to stir that in and let it incorporate into that soup. So I'm going to add probably about a half a cup of the cheese. Now after the cheese has incorporated into the soup, then you can taste it and decide if it needs more salt. You could even spice it up with some red pepper flakes if you wanted to give it a little bit of a kick, some heat to it. You can throw in some fresh cracked black pepper. Some fresh thyme would also be nice in this as well. All right, let's give it a try. Oh yeah, perfect. Because we added the cheese at the last minute, we brought in all that salt. So we really don't need to add any more to that. I might finish it off with some cracked black pepper, but other than that, I think it's perfect. So this is our soup. Like I said, very easy to put together, and you've got your pasta, you've got meat, and you've got some carrots and onions. If you really wanted to throw a vegetable in there, you could throw some spinach or some chopped kale. It's really up to you and what you'd like to do. So, all right, so let's get ready to serve this up for dinner. A spoonful here. And of course, we're going to top it with a little bit more cheese, right? There. All right, there you go. That is our Tuscan bean soup, and we've got some nice homemade cornbread there to enjoy with that. Well, thanks for eating with me today, and I hope you've enjoyed the recipe. And if you like this, I guess, YouTube, if you like the recipes, please hit the subscribe button down below, and then you get notifications whenever I put a new video out. So, hope everyone's doing well, and again, thanks for eating with me tonight.